Oh, everybody's on
Yeah,
mute.
it's recording. Hey, everybody.
Hello? Can anybody hear us?
Say if you can hear us, yeah? Okay. Everybody have their cupcake? Okay, you got it? All right. Oh, it's okay. Are there more in there?
Well, we're still a little early. They're joining slowly.
Okay. All right. 1 minute. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Okay. Oh, I see. So you can see all the improvements here.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's very cool.
Okay. Jerry hasn't done a Zoom.
Well, I've never led my own Zoom.
Okay. There we go. All right, guys. Everybody joins in. There's going to be quite a few of you, so we'll wait as everybody comes in. I want you to be thinking like pressure. This is a pressure party, right? Because it's my party, so I can do what I want, right? So I want you to be thinking if you have a favorite quote from the book, if there's a favorite chapter from the book, or what else did we want to ask them? We are doing this by the seat. We're just flying by the seat of our pants. I see you laughing at me, Beth. Really, I do. I see you, Willoughby. And it's okay. We are laughing at the seat of our pants. Hey, Laura, Christy, Rebecca, Barbara, Kathy, Taylor. Hey, guys. So think about those things because I'm going to ask you. Because, see, I have all your names right here, so I can just call you out. Isn't that great? It's like the best.
Wait, you're going to like call people?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
If they don't want to answer, that's okay. I mean, I don't want to make them feel bad, but come on now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a good time. Does everybody have their cupcakes? Or have you eaten so many cupcakes that, like, you're done with cupcakes?
Is that ever possible for you?
I
didn't think
That's not possible. Quarantine or not, it's just not possible.
Mm-hmm.
So my cupcake, which I spent hours baking, I did not spend hours baking it. I did send my masked husband to the store.
Not to be confused with a masked singer or anything.
No, he did not sing.
No, that would be
so
weird.
This is a champagne cupcake with chantilly cream and
you just
berries.
said to pick the pretty one with the berries.
I did.
On top.
I said pick the pretty one.
Yeah, seriously.
So anyways, oh, here we go. 2 more coming in. All right. So I'm just going to like start chatting with you all. Everybody is muted as you come in. So remember to unmute yourself if
or
like,
hit the space bar.
Or hit the space bar. And that opens your mic so you can chat. Okay. As more of you come in. Yay, this is so exciting. Hey, Amy. Look, everybody's got their books. Michelle.
Hi, Mary and Jerry.
Hi. How are you?
There, now we're all together.
There's Laura.
Okay.
Hey, Miss Laura, how you doing?
Hey, love. I'm good. I'm ready to celebrate.
Your ring light is like doing amazing things.
Is it all right?
Oh,
good.
it's beautiful.
My room is so dark. My
room
is so dark, so I had to do something. So
it's good. Everybody, this is Laura Rowland.
Hi,
She's
everybody.
a pretty awesome human. Dear friend of mine who lives here on the East Coast. So Laura, we'll start with you. Like you unmuted. So hey, on the spot, sister. Nice. So do you have
Jerry,
like a favorite section, quote, whatever?
I'm going to be really honest, Mary, with you. Is that
Tell me you didn't read the book or you're out.
Oh no, I read the book. I had to read the book. It took me. Usually a really fast reader, and usually I can read a book in a day. It took me about 3 weeks to get through your book.
Was it that bad?
No, it was that good, Jerry.
Really?
Grouchy. No.
Seriously?
No, it was so good. It was so good because I could only read parts of it and then I had to put it down. And I had to walk away. So I had to digest it in really, really, really small bits of it. I think for me, I think the story of Jonathan, I'm a J-Man fan. Sorry, I am. I have a big heart for J-Man.
We asked him to join tonight, and he was like, "No, I'm good. Thanks so much. You guys have a good time."
All right. But I think I think I really resonated with Jonathan and all of, you know, the mothering and the parenting that happened afterwards. I think that's for me. I entered your story after Courtney, so I never had the privilege. But I do know a little bit about Jamie, so I think I resonated with that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So it's a great book, Mary. So proud of your work.
Thank
Really.
you, friends. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
All
Absolutely.
right, let's see. It's like playing pinball. Like,
I know who else is here.
there's so many people. All right, I'm going to somebody who's been with us on this journey for like a long time. Kathy B. Bernero, unmute. There you go.
Here we go.
Hey, Kath. Everybody, this is Kathy Bernero. I've known her for 21 years. Right? 21? 22? I don't know. We're young. We're just young people. Whatever.
Yeah.
So what was your, and she and her family have journeyed with us, gosh, through this whole thing, really. From the not from the beginning. You joined us around,
No.
it was 7 when we met you guys.
At least 18.
18 years.
years.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so Kath, what did you think?
Yeah. What I think of
Of the book, do you have a favorite section, a favorite quote? You
gosh.
lived it. So when I talk about the prayer group in the book, the ladies that came and serenaded Courtney 2 weeks before her death, Kathy was one of them. So yeah, the confession line, yeah.
Well, and I think it was probably a couple of years before I even shared with you what I told Courtney that night.
Yeah.
And that was pretty amazing. But to read about it again,
answered, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the cool part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Praise God. Thank you, Courtney.
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I think, I felt like as well as I knew you, and as well as I knew you and Jerry, I was just in awe of your honesty, just really, really profound, and it reminded me that you can know people so well and you can just still not know all the journeys they've been on.
Yeah. True.
And we can lift each other up just day in and day out. And we don't have to know the whole journey. Yeah. But we can just keep lifting each other up.
You're the best. Thanks.
It's a gift.
Kathy.
Oh yeah, wouldn't miss it.
The next book comes out. You're in that too. You have ice cream? That's awesome. Everybody pick up your cupcake. There's a lot of you here now. Cheers. Yeah, I see Whitaker at the bottom of the screen. She doesn't have a cupcake because she probably did Pure Bar and outsweated us all.
Did you go by Sonic?
Yeah, Whitaker. You can unmute, Catherine. Thank you, Kathy.
Or do you have a Dr. Pepper?
Is there a Dr.
No, I have a Topo Chico.
Oh, whatever.
I know. I had the Dr. Pepper earlier today.
How many Dr. Peppers have you had today? Not enough.
Just one.
No.
Just one.
Not enough.
I typically will only drink one unless it's been a rough day. But yesterday it was like a big,
yeah.
I treated myself. Yeah. No, today just one.
Just one. So what I've been asking everybody, Catherine, is do they have a favorite part of the book, a favorite quote, a favorite memory? Yes, well, Jerry eats his cupcake.
Yes. Please stuff your face, Jerry.
He's really good.
I will. Oh, it's got a filling in it.
Yes, it's got a berry filling.
I should have brought the. He's excited about that.
I'm loving
Good to see you.
How about y'all? Is it going well for you?
Sorry, I'm easily distracted.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Squirrel. Mm-hmm. I should have had the book with me. I think.
I'm sorry, you don't have it memorized, Whitaker? Really?
I don't have it in front of me. Shut it. I think that I loved the chapter when you talked about marriage, because I don't think very many people talk about the hard parts of marriage. We're willing to post the happy photos and we're willing to talk about the really great things going on in our marriages, which is all good and which is all important. But there's a fine line between sharing the hard parts and being encouraging and then sharing the hard parts and it's TMI. And you did that very well. And I think it was encouraging.
The right side of the line?
The right side of the TMI.
You were on the right side. Yes, you were
I
on the
don't
wrong.
know.
You were on the correct
I
side.
don't know. That was a really thin line.
I was grateful that you talked about that, because there are a lot of marriages that need encouragement and to feel like they're not alone. And that was, and I mean, just the overarching sense of being vulnerable, but being vulnerable in all the right places so that people could see their story, but not be offended or be appalled. I mean, I think that it caused me to have some
I don't
honest
know. You can
conversations.
be appalled if you wanted
Appalled.
to.
That's an interesting word there. Appalled.
Actually, there were people that were. I
Well,
have the mail to prove it. So yeah.
I'm sure you do,
people
but those
Yeah.
aren't the people that needed to hear your message. The people that needed to hear your message, it resonated with them. And I mean, I just love your joy, Mary. I mean, I read that story and I thought, I don't know if I would have been that joyful at the end of the day. I don't know if I would have seen the goodness in that. And so that was an inspiration, personally speaking.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too, Texas.
You
So
know, we
everybody,
have another screen.
I know
so
we
that you
do.
can
We have
move
like
over
3. I'm moving.
so
Okay,
you
we're
can pick some other
okay,
people. I'm
okay.
just saying.
Oh my gosh, the
I'll mute
pressure.
myself.
Catapan, get on there.
She's on the other. Oh,
No,
there
she's
she is.
right there.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Go ahead.
Almost.
Wait, everybody, this is Amy Catapan, who had the good gracious, I'm talking to you, who had the good gracious, I don't know, she had the guts to like host us.
Perfect strangers.
Perfect stranger.
It's a good thing
Never
we
met
weren't
in
axe
person.
murderers.
And she hosted us in her home for like 4 days.
No, you for 4 days.
Me for 4 days. She could only handle you for 2.
That's
but-
correct. You could only.
You were in Chicago, just 2.
She
She's
did,
awesome.
however, greet me at the door. The very first time I met her, she greeted me at the door with a glass of whiskey. We are
which is
friends
forever,
for life.
For life, like besties.
Besties.
But she's a writer, an author in her own right, and she's currently working on her dissertation. Are you done with it, Amy? Your dissertation yet?
I finished the dissertation on Friday.
You're done. That's awesome. Congratulations, Amy.
Yes.
Yay!
I still
You're gonna
have
a doctor in the house.
Yeah, I still have to defend. I was trying to show you my Dr. Catapan sign that I made for my students where I'm filling in a letter for each step. So officially I still have 2 steps left to go.
Yeah,
But the writing
is done.
How many,
Yeah.
how many pages?
about 170.
Longer than my book. Good job. Well done.
It is. I do have a book here.
That's good. See, she's got it. All
I
right. So
know.
what do you think, Amy? Favorite section, favorite quote? It sucked. I mean,
Okay.
what?
Oh, no, of course. My favorite section is the Lourdes section.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That would be
Because
a good section.
your
Why is that?
Lourdes story. What?
She went to, she goes and helps. She helps the Malades and
Oh,
Lourdes
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
with the Knights of Malta.
Your Lourdes story is actually the reason why I had a Malade there. So I went 3 years ago with the Order of Malta. My Malade was a young 18-month-old boy by the name of Oscar, whose mom saw Mary talk about your trip there to Lourdes.
Yeah.
And that's the reason she contacted the Order of Malta to come to Lourdes to bring her son to the healing water. So of course I had to read your version of the story. I had heard Christy's version about how she heard Mary speak about it and how she ended up coming there. But yeah,
It's a small
the original.
world.
And that's how we ended up at your house in Chicago.
That's
Boom.
right. There you go.
Boom.
It's full circle.
Yeah.
See what God did there? That's pretty amazing. Well, thanks for being here, Amy.
Sure. Which cupcake should I eat? Because I've got one with gold sprinkles and one with colored sprinkles, or just both.
Both.
Both. Why must we choose these things? No, you dive all in, girlfriend. We are still in quarantine. And you need to remember, because certain people in Texas forgot and they stepped on the scale. No one steps on the scale unless you have been out of quarantine for 2 weeks. Then you step on the scale. Until then, it is an illegal move.
What
And
is
you will
2
be
weeks
fined
gonna
5
do?
cupcakes.
What is 2 weeks going to do?
You're going to at least move and walk and like get rid of water weight. I mean, come on. Gotta cut it out.
Really?
All right. Let me see. Where's Adrian? I see Adrian down there. All right, Adrian. She's like, crap, I have to talk? Yes, you do. Come on. You got to unmute. You have to unmute yourself. She's like, what?
There she
This
is.
is the best part of Zoom. It's like, oh, cute.
Yeah, I have 4 kids. Let me tell you how often I do this.
Don't you wish they had a mute button?
Yeah, right?
We all need one. How you doing,
Listen,
friend?
full disclosure, I don't have a cupcake. I have a hot toddy.
That's okay.
Ooh,
That's better
I
than
like
a
those
cupcake.
too.
I knew Jerry would approve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry approves of all things. Hot tub.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Super exciting.
It is
Super
very
exciting.
exciting. Yeah, I can't believe it's been a year.
I know.
Like, where did that time go? I don't know.
I don't know.
Dude, follow me. I
No,
know,
stop.
I know. Okay.
So, do you have a favorite quote or a favorite section or?
I do. I agree with Catherine about the marriage chapter. I thought it was beautiful. And I'm a crier, but for some reason I don't cry at books. I've cried at maybe 5 books in my whole life, and this is one of them.
Oh,
I just
honored
felt
that I
it
could make you weep.
hard. You did. So good job. Good job. I had it and then I closed it on accident. So yeah, that was my favorite chapter. The quote where you say, you're talking about tending your marriage like a garden. And when you don't pour into it, it can die. I just thought that was so beautiful. I think the longer, as newlyweds, you're like, oh, let me make you breakfast. Let me fold the laundry for you. And the longer you're married, I think you forget to do that kind of stuff. So it was such a good reminder to start pouring back into my marriage intentionally every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wrote that. I
know.
made
you breakfast.
You made me breakfast. You did a great job. Nicely done. Well, thanks for sharing, Adrienne, and thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You caught me 1 minute prior to shooing my kids out, and they're like, hey, it's Miss Mary and Mr. Jimmy. And I was like, yeah, good night.
We got a show last time.
I know.
That
was pretty awesome.
Y'all did. That was
Awesome. All right. So moving on. Miss Maria Gianni, unmute yourself. Everybody, I'd like you to meet Maria. Here's what I know about Maria. I used to babysit her when she was little.
Wait a minute. That makes us old.
That makes us very old. She's now a mom. Your oldest is graduating from high school this year?
Yeah, in a week or 2. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
No, that makes you really old.
Really old. Thank you so much. And
Well,
I remember, like, we grew up in Twin Brook, and I remember I was in high school, and I remember the summer I babysat you and your brothers and sisters, and I brought my biology textbook because I had failed biology.
Was it
and
more
I
of a
didn't take it again.
scroll or a textbook?
Really?
Okay, just ask.
Anyway. And so I'd go over every day. And when Maria and I caught up as adults much later, she was like, all I remember was how big that biology book was. It was quite a weapon.
I didn't realize it was summer school you were doing, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that
summer
part.
school 3 summers in a row. It was great. I loved it. It was very
Isn't it
improved
God's own miracle that she actually wrote a book?
And that I homeschooled. Yes, God was laughing.
That was God's sense of humor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Maria's known me. She knew my parents, all my brothers and sisters. I'm sure there's
God bless
David was in my class.
Right.
God bless you.
My brother David, who's now he runs his own lab for the FDA. He's an organic chemist.
He's a drug dealer.
We call him the drug dealer.
Wow.
That's what we do.
Wow.
That's what family does. We nickname each other. So yeah. So do you have a favorite part of the book or a favorite quote or?
Well, I dug one up now. I was going to say it was funny because I had always pre-ordered your book. And so I had it pre-ordered and ready to come. And I guess your book must have come out around Mother's Day. So my mom wrapped a present for me and it was your book. And I was oh, Mom, I already got it. She goes, how did you get it? It just came out. And I was like, well, yeah, I pre-ordered it. But anyway, I passed that copy on and on. So
that's awesome.
It ended up, but my mom was, how did you even know? I was like, oh, Mom, I knew. So anyway, she was like amazed. How did I do it so fast? You don't have time to go to a bookstore. I'm like, Mom, anyway.
Just think of the internet. It's okay.
Yeah. It always, amazes. But anyway, a part that stuck out to me, it's probably hard to just pick one, but this whole theme of acceptance, throughout the entire book. But then you just have this beautiful line. This is on 112. Her death broke my heart and saved my soul all at once. Her death broke my heart and saved my soul all at once. So
it did.
Just something about that line. So obviously. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful book, and I'm looking forward to your next one.
So am I. We'll see what the
So
editor
am
does
I.
with it. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Maria. I so appreciate it.
I just didn't
Your
want to miss the chance to see you. So yeah.
Yay! All right, let's go. Bridget Sullivan, I see you there. I love it how you guys are like, oh, I have to talk. Yes, you do. This is the whole point. If I can't get on the road and come see you, this is the only way I get to see you. So Bridget, where are you from?
I'm actually from Northern Virginia.
You're probably right down the street, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, not right down the street, but Reston, so close enough.
Oh, close enough. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you come to find Be Brave and the Scared, and what is your favorite part or worst part or whatever? You guys are ready to listen to our washing machine launch, because I just realized that Jonathan put in his clothes and it's an old machine. So if you hear something in the back that sounds bad, that's what it is. Well,
We do appreciate him putting his clothes in the laundry.
We do appreciate the actual action of laundry. Go ahead.
I found you through Nicole Caruso, who I found through the Campas as well, Courtney Campa. And that family is just amazing. And I did ballet with them and grew up just thinking they were the bee's knees. And she featured you on her feed, and I read through, I think it was a post about Courtney, and my heart just melted. And so I started following you, and I think now it's kind of crazy, but I think it's been 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I just found myself more and more wanting to get to know you deeply. And finally I was like, I should get this book. I lost my mom when I was 19, and I'm an only. And so there was something about your story with Courtney that really resonated with me in losing my mom. And I read through it actually not long ago. And the Lord's part, just tears of just beauty and joy in that moment when she went in and held the Mary to her chest. I just was, how beautiful. And I've been wanting to go, and that's sort of when I can travel, when we can all travel again, that's just on my mind and heart to do. It's sort of reading that just even confirmed it further, just how beautiful that was.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. It's an absolute joy to meet you.
Yeah.
Even if it's through a screen, I appreciate it. All right. So if you guys have like specific questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat so we see them and we can call on you. I don't want anybody to leave thinking that like we didn't see you or your question wasn't answered. I want to make sure that this time, as much as it's a celebration, serves you as well. So, and since I'm not traveling anytime soon, the earliest I think is September possibly, and that might get canceled. I won't get to like actually see y'all in person. So, so please do ask questions. We're here, we're pretty bold. We answer anything you ask us. So we do. Yeah. Don't even say we don't. It's a lie. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to call a random name. Let me see here. Where's Hope Aquilina? Is she on tonight? I'm not sure. If everybody's here that registered, probably not.
Well, no, because we only have 29 people.
Oh, okay. So Gloria Sandoval. I love watching your surprised faces.
Oh. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Gloria. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I am fantastic. Where are you from?
I'm from Whittier, California, like 15 minutes away from Anaheim. So like Disneyland.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm
all the way on the other coast.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you find Be Brave and the Scared? And what's your favorite part or your favorite quote?
Well, actually, I must have found you through Instagram. Exactly how, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Miracle of God. It's okay. We'll give you credit.
Yeah. Of course, always. And I had heard about you last year. I remember it was like mid last year, and I was just procrastinating getting the book. And I watched everything on you through YouTube. Any video that has your name on it, I've seen it, and I'm like, I need to get this book. So I finally got it. I got it yesterday. I started chapter 1. And I was like, easy read. I'm going to just go through it. No. I was like, no. It is an easy read, but it's deep. it's deep. And I go, no, I need to focus. And I got to the end of it and there's questions and I can answer them. So I'm like, no, I need to reread and really focus on what she's saying.
Oh, wow.
And I love it. I love it. I'm sure I'm going to have to read it 3, 4, 5 times, but
I had to write it 3 or 4 times, so that's good. Yeah.
Okay, great.
That's only because of what you did to commas.
Yeah,
and
what I do to
apostrophes.
commas is illegal in the lower 48 states. It's just, it's.
The participles are dangling and your infinitives are split.
Don't get me going on the gerunds. I don't even know what that is. It sounded like a geriatric verb. I have no idea. Oh. Well, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're enjoying the book. Thank you for joining in on the great adventure. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm sure I will later, but as of now, no.
Email
I just
me.
want to hear. I want to hear everybody out. Of course.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Thanks for joining in, Gloria.
Of
All right,
course.
Willoughby, you're up. She's like, what? Come on, Beth. Everybody, I'd like you to meet Beth Willoughby. She's a pretty awesome Floridian. And let me see, we followed each other for a while, and then we actually got to meet at a Blessed Is She retreat. Is that 2 years ago now? That's 2 years ago.
Yeah,
1 year ago.
So like a year and a half. Yeah.
Year and a half. I don't know. I'm old. I have no idea. So, and now, so you're married, got 4 kids down in the Gatorville.
Yeah.
She still hasn't tried gator, by the way.
No, I'm not eating gator.
Gator.
It's not happening. No.
It's like chicken. Come on.
I
know.
don't care.
Why
I don't
not?
believe you.
Gator
I
po'
love
boy.
you, but I do not believe
It's on
you.
her bucket list.
No, it is not. It's on the bucket of trash. It's not happening.
It's like chewy chicken.
No.
It's
Who wants to eat chewy chicken?
not me.
I totally
but
eat it.
I'm just saying.
You're weird.
I totally eat it.
So Beth, do you have a favorite part? What do you think? Be Brave and the Scared. How did it impact your life?
For it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I'm all for it. That's great. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh gosh. I mean, I think so. Okay. So I was thinking while everybody was talking, and one of the things that resonated with me that I found really, really interesting was the part about Lourdes. And opposite of Amy, who knows like everything about it, it's because I knew nothing about it. So like the whole experience was, reading everything that you went through, I was like, for real?
For real?
Do that?
Yes. Yes.
We
It's
got
the
naked
most
in
Catholic
France.
place
That's
ever.
amazing, kind of. But then I think, and I said this when the book first came out too, was I think what really got me the most was the authenticity that was there. This is me, this is my story, and this is how it went down. Take it or leave it. This is just it. And as someone who has been raised Catholic, like you were, and just gone through life with that lens, right? And then things happen, life happens, and we all react to it differently, and we all have our own paths through it. The way that you were just like, look, this is my path, and God loves me still, and that's, take me or leave me, here I am. That really did a lot for me. So
That's awesome.
good job.
One day we're going to see a book with her name in the byline. So get ready for it, people. It's coming.
We'll see.
Oh, no, we will. Yes, we will see. That's exactly correct. We will indeed see. All right. Let's see. Miss Rebecca. I got her mid-sip. Rebecca.
Price is Right. I feel like I'm on The Price is Right. I should be running down. And I'm like, woo!
You win. Question of the hour.
Hey, how's that history class going?
It's going better because you helped teach it. Yes. PSA, I had the best co-teacher one day. Oh man, he saw, talk about real, be brave and the scared. I didn't know how scared I should be. Not of them, but of scaring my students straight, because he came in and I had some interesting.
He did a job, didn't he?
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah.
That's my job at youth ministry. I'm the enforcer.
Yeah.
I'm the one that goes, do you really think that's a good choice?
That is not a good life
choice. No, Mr. Lindbergh, that's not a good choice.
Let's make another.
Well, the teacher got schooled because, I thought I had done it a few years, but Zoom is a whole other thing. But anyway, it was so awesome.
Zoom
so I highly applaud.
Yeah. So, Rebecca, you've traveled with us for a long time.
Yes. I was actually thinking, it was funny. I was like, I found you back in Faith and Family Live through small success.
Yeah, through CatholicMom.com.
Yeah, that was Catholic. So then it became Faith and Family Live, or was related to it. And then there was like all these little ways to link our blogs together. And one was called like Small Successes. Like get through our day, and and you'd start kind of like following blogs, and that's how I found you. I mean, gosh, how was that? 2008? I don't know.
2007 is when I started.
2007, yeah. So and just walking with you, and then through the blog, and as an overwhelmed young mom myself, and I'm only 10 years behind you, but you were so generous. Like Courtney sent my kids books, like her favorites. So like when Jerry and Jonathan have been reading some of the favorites, I've had them because they were from Courtney, and it just a really great travel, just going through and then just seeing all the growth and learning about community through you, Mary, because you've been so beautiful and open and real, even when it's not good, and I think that's what I appreciate. In fact, some of the stories today that people have shared, like the Marriage is a Garden, I've definitely, so much of your book, I was like, I think it was Laura at the beginning. It's the easiest read and the hardest for the heart to read. It's like, the words, like it's the perfect, I'm just gonna read a little bit and digest it. And when you have heart work to do yourself, it really was a step-by-step. I mean, like I joke, it's as worn as my Bible. So it's like, I've got the Word of Mary and the Gospel of the Lord, and
wow.
And it's got
according to Mary. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
That is not of equal weight
Flip it
and
up
measure.
to the book of chapter 1.
Oh, and it's funny because it's almost like as vulnerable as you are, which I need to learn the whole how not to be TMI vulnerable. That's been a quest of mine this year. But like, so you do it so well. So I'm like, all right. But on page 46 was in my book. One of the quotes was that it felt like you're being our national mom, where you kind of still mother us through. You're like, change demands two things: surrender and a willingness to do the hard work required. And I think so often we kind of get stuck at, okay, can I surrender it? Or okay, I surrendered it. But just because you surrender something doesn't mean you can't. You have to work at it. Just like we forgive. Well, guess what? It's 77 times infinity, right?
You gotta keep doing it again and again and again.
Exactly. Yeah. So so that has just really stayed with me, and it kind of linked to the legacy chapter of your book, because I'm so moved and into personal saints, because when worlds come together crazily, I've always intercessed after Courtney passed to Saint Courtney, and love that she had her hashtag. And then dear friends of ours lost their daughter. She was born on Courtney's going home on December 27th. And she only lived 37 days. And so I can't tell you how, between St. Caitlin and St. Courtney, how many powerful intercessions, and Courtney, I think if she could have talked, now that she's in heaven, she can't stop talking. And I think she's literally
much like her mother.
Hey.
She's literally intercessing all the time. So it's really cool. And it's awesome to have like,
oh, Jesus, I got another one, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I feel like I have the balance, because like Caitlin's like this beautiful infant, and then Courtney's like this young lady. And it's like, oh, I got my bases covered. Woman power. We got the, the whole thing. So and just the lesson
for being here, and thank you for journeying with us. And
oh my God. Thank you for Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca. All right, Miss Lisa Hendy. I've been calling out people, so you get to unmute yourself. So everybody, I'd like you to meet the most awesome mentor a girl could have. Her name is Lisa Hendy, and she's an author and a speaker in her own right. And she has just been the best sounding board, the best encourager. She has this gentle heart that guides so beautifully, and yet at the same time she'll speak some hard truth, like, you know, get your ish together and let's do this kind of thing, which is great. But she never uses the words I use. She sounds so nice. And I just sound like a sailor. But
You swear a little.
I do, just a little bit.
I swear a lot.
Yes, you do. Anyways, it's so good to have you, Lisa, join in.
I know. I'm so sorry I don't have a cupcake, but I do have this, which is just awesome.
Hey, that works for me.
I already ate mine.
You ate yours. I'm still all out of it.
And I mean, I don't want to say a lot, except how grateful I am, because you are such a gift, and you've been so open. And, you know, Mary, for everything that happened with this, it gets more awesome and 10 times more scary with every win to come.
See, it's 10 times more scary that I'm doing it now.
Yeah. You don't think it can, and yet, I mean, I watched you over the last month just fight, you know, fight so hard, and just know that feeling, but also know how much God wants you to succeed in what you're doing. And I'm grateful.
You're so kind. God,
That's it.
I wish you were close enough that I could hug you. California.
No hugging.
Hey, I don't care. Screw that. I'm hugging everybody. Everybody's getting a hug and a lasagna. That's all.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Here you go.
So
thanks for being here.
I'm your cheerleader. That's all I can say.
You're awesome, and I love you. Thank you, sister. All right, let's see. Where are we going to go? Ooh, Holly. Miss Holly Novotny, I think. Is that how you say your last name? I hope so, Holly.
It is.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the party, Holly. Where are you from?
I'm just outside of Baltimore, and
oh wow, my home state.
I met you and Jerry.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
He brought me whiskey. I will always remember Holly, because she greeted me. She's like, I just wanted to give you a little gift.
Just for you.
Just for me.
No, I did say you should share it with Mary.
That's okay.
No.
He didn't.
He didn't? Oh.
He doesn't.
Well, Mary,
no, I have
we're allowed to be together, then you and I will have to share some Sagamore. because.
So I met Holly at a book signing and a talk that we did at Church of the Redeemer, right? Isn't that where we were in Maryland?
Resurrection.
Well, I knew it
Church of Resurrection in Laurel.
Go.
Laurel, not Laurel. Burtonsville,
Maryland.
Burtonsville. Yeah.
So what was your favorite part of the book?
I think overall, I shared this with you before, that one of the coolest things is seeing people, and you specifically, and Jerry, by his willingness to kind of let everything be known, your willingness to be exactly who God created you to be, and sharing your vulnerability in a way that really glorifies him, because for those of us who know so much of your story because of your online writing for all these years, and then, you know, Instagram and all of these ways that we've gotten to know you better more recently, we know some of the really hard stuff that you went through with Courtney, but in the book, I learned so much of some of your personal struggles, and how in the midst of what we know, all, you know, marriages really suffer when there is suffering in the family, and that wasn't necessarily apparent all through. And you're so awesome and funny that you kind of miss that there's all this other stuff in the past, right? These aren't like normal things that you talk about. How do you get to be so awesome? Well, you go through really hard stuff, right? And
you might hurt good. Like, I don't know. I'm not awesome. So I don't know how I feel, but.
Well, I don't know, Mary, there's all these people here because you're awesome, and because the book really was something that spoke to each one of us in a way that was not just on the surface. You know, it was worth not just reading, but sharing with other people, and driving to hear you talk, and to jump off another meeting and jump into this one, so that I could, you know, because you bring something of Jesus to all of us by being so open and vulnerable. And I think that, I just appreciate it, because I learned so much by seeing the witness of you and Lisa and you know, Catherine Whitaker, who just who really kind of live a bit more publicly than I do necessarily. And you know, but to see your vulnerability glorifying the Lord gives us all courage really to share our vulnerabilities with others, because we know that it's good, because we do see Jesus in you and Jerry and how you share your story, and your willingness to just say, this is all grace.
Yeah, it is. It's totally grace.
And
just in case anybody, you know, was confused about that, it's all Jesus.
But it's also your cooperation with that grace. And I think that that's the part that is so exciting and hopeful for all the rest of us, because we all have a mess, right?
Yeah.
Whatever our circumstances are.
Well,
so,
and I think it's one of the first times in my life that I was really obedient all the way through. Like, my mother's very proud of me. I was really obedient.
She's not real big on obedience.
It's not
she is not always a rule follower.
It's not my charism.
I think I love that about you.
Well, thank you for being here, Holly, and thank you for your words of encouragement.
And thank you for the whiskey.
Yeah, there you
go. It was very good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
All right, we're going to hop over to Mary Alice Dragone. She's another that has traveled with us for a long time. I've known Mary Alice since we arrived here 21 years ago. Sweet heavens, Mary Alice. So, and there's a picture that I put on Instagram. It comes up every September 15th for Our Lady of Sorrows. And it's when Mary Alice was praying over Courtney in front of our Lord during adoration. And it's one of the most beautiful pictures that I have, because Mary Alice at the time was going through her own journey with cancer and chemotherapy. And so her hair was a little shorter, but man, your eyes were still as clear and still as kind. And your love for us and our daughter has always been so heart-filling. And I just really appreciate you being here.
Well, I am thrilled to be here. And it's so wonderful to celebrate and have an excuse to have a cupcake and a glass of wine at the same time at 8:30 at night. Awesome.
Amen.
Wonderful. And, you know, it was really amazing because I've known you for so long through a lot of homeschooling things and
we
being with
together
Courtney.
too. Yeah.
Yes. And through youth group and all those other things, both of you, and all that you give to the parish. But I remember so specifically when you went to Lourdes. I remember when you left, and to be able to read, I've heard little bits and pieces, but to immerse myself as if I were there was an incredible gift. Yeah. And the thing that also I appreciated so much, and it's so much how the Lord seems to work, as you took this kind of like come to Jesus moment. You're at this pinnacle experience, but it actually didn't show itself fully for a long time afterwards, that you fully understood what was going on at the time. And the true, well, you know, it's the gift that gives. You know, Tom and I had been to the Holy Land, and people asked, you know, why, you know, what was your favorite part? And I'm like, it's the fact that the experience continues to live, and it's the remembering pieces of it that just makes every experience that we have changeable. Yeah. And that it has an opportunity to see it in a different way. And I think it gives you a lens. It gives you a lens. And you've had so many different kinds of lenses. And it was such a beautiful experience for me to be able to see through the lenses that you had at different points in your lives and in your marriage. And to be privy to that is just a really sacred experience. And I think I wrote you in the email that I recently sent you, there's so many times, every time I see be brave and the scared, I see scared as sacred.
Sacred.
I always read it as sacred. And I'm like, you know, it's. Do
you know how many radio interviews I did where the radio host said that was the title of the book?
Really? Oh, my goodness.
I didn't want to like embarrass them or call them out on national radio. So I just went along with it. And then they would say, Mary, tell us the name of your book. And so it's like 3/4 of the way through the interview, and I'd go, be brave and the scared. And you'd hear the radio guy in the ear go, oh crap. You know, every time. And then he'd come back and apologize, or she'd come back and apologize. But yeah, those two letters get messed up all the time, but it is sacred. I mean, her journey was sacred. Our journey's been sacred. So that works well.
Well, thank you for continuing to share your vulnerability in your posts. And it's, again, a really privileged place to be. So thank you both.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. You did a good job. Thanks, Mary Alice. All right, I've got to go up to Poodle Walker because I mean, come on, Poodle. What a name! I love it, sister.
Hi. Oh my
How
God.
are you, friend?
Thank you. My gosh, it's great to be here.
Great to have you here. Where are you coming from?
And of course, I do have poodles.
That's awesome.
I live in Buffalo, New York.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And unfortunately, we're kind of a hot spot, so we really haven't gone into phase 1 or 2. And I really missed the Catholic conferences this year. It seems like we got kind of locked down right when a lot of them were heating down here. And I'm sure you probably missed out on some speaking engagements.
Oh, yeah. 3 months. 3 months of talks. Yeah. I had, I think, 3 to 4 a month. So, yeah, about 12 or 13 just gone.
So when I saw that you were doing this, I jumped on. I had to be one of the first because it's just nice to connect. Oops, sorry.
That might be one of your poodles.
Oh, sorry. I mean, gosh, stop it. You were so good the whole time. But I think what I really liked most about, guys, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I can't believe they're barking right when I talk.
You've got to talk over them. That's okay.
Oliver, Lucy, please. Okay. I think what I love most about your book is it's just like, guys! Evan, could you grab the dog?
It's part of a Zoom. Because
My one
I
thing
love you.
Evan, please grab the dog. Just like this COVID, like no matter, Evan, please grab the dogs. I'm finally on. It's like, sorry, my husband will rescue us.
That's quite all right.
So what, just like with COVID, right? There's so many things in life that you don't expect to happen. And it's how you respond to things is so much more important than how you react. And just from the beginning of your book, it was so beautiful with your daughter's baptism. It's supposed to be the most gorgeous day. And the fact that you ended up in the ICU, I mean, that one, it was just really beautiful. And it was like, no way, this happened? No way.
It did.
And, here we are just thinking about the party afterwards. And then I think of, even today, like people that have had children and they want to baptize them and they have to wear masks and there can't be a celebration or anything. And it's just always keeping your eye on God and knowing that, like you said last Sunday, don't let your heart be troubled. And, you took us through a beautiful journey and I appreciate that. And again, I apologize for my dogs.
No worries. I think it was,
who let the dogs out?
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you knew that was coming.
You knew that was coming.
You knew that was coming.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
This is what it's like to live with this Lunenburg. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
I greatly appreciate it. You helping us to celebrate. Hey, Mackenzie Watkins.
Woo! Go Navy.
Go Navy.
Go Navy. Oh, Collins with the girls, of course. Well, I guess 2.5 years ago, I started following you and was like obsessed, and I didn't know why, but I couldn't stop reading and watching everything you guys did. And you came out with this phrase, be brave in the scared, and you asked everybody to turn in just an example of how they have done that in their life or someone they knew. And I read all the stories and I shared one myself. And so I've loved you guys for a while now, but long story short, my favorite part of the book is just how you really show what it really means to love unconditionally. So bringing a child into this world, I have 2, but I'm a young mom still, so I'm still learning, but you love Courtney and your family to the extent that God will give you the outcome regardless, like no matter what you decide or what control you tried to have on any of the situation, you even wrote in such a way of, although this is a really hard thing, I'm going to laugh at it. And every chapter was that. I cried and laughed every single chapter. And I'm like, okay, enough with, am I like on my period? Like what's going on? Sorry, Jerry. But truly, like I just love how you accept the Lord into your life. And that's why everybody's here, because I think everybody longs for that. And you wear it so well. So thank you.
I thought it was a finely tuned yet inappropriate sense of humor.
That would be your finely tuned yet inappropriate sense of humor. Oh. But anyway.
Yeah, I love the book so much that somebody else has Bridget has my copy. That's why I don't have it, because I had to give it. And that's what you do with a good book. So I can't wait for the next one.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Miss Taylor Dean. Hop in there, girlfriend. How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you coming from tonight?
I am in Brantford, Ontario, Canada.
Ooh, hey.
So,
No, please stop.
Yes.
Lord, I apologize now for anything that will happen in the next 5 minutes.
all good.
So how did you come to find Be Brave?
I heard you on the Fountains of Carrots podcast.
Oh, with Haley, yeah, and Christy.
Yes. So that's how I came to start following you. And then I really started reading lots of memoirs kind of all at the same time. So I read your book, and I read Catherine's book, and I read Jennifer Fulwiler's books. So I kind of went through a lot of them all at once.
It's a lot of life.
Yeah, but like yours just really hit home with a lot of your story and is really hitting home right now with all this COVID stuff. So right before the lockdown and where we are, like 2 days before, we got engaged and we had picked a wedding date, and that's not going to happen now.
Oh.
So just reading your book again is just a reminder of like, you can do hard things.
And better things are coming.
Really great.
Better things are coming. They're
Yeah.
coming. Just got to hang
So my favorite chapter is chapter 8, Mercy in the Mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how you start the chapter, even if you're a neat freak and your spice rack is organized alphabetically, because that's me. And I just love how you really hit home with, even if you try to do everything perfectly, it's going to be a mess, and God uses it for such amazing things.
He does. He truly, truly does.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Taylor. I so appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you for doing this, and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. We'll go to Elizabeth Lormeyer. How you doing, friend?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Tell us where you're coming from.
Thank you so much for having all of us, Mary. Congratulations,
oh my gosh,
my friend.
This is a pure joy.
Yeah, hi. So I actually met Mary almost 7 years ago on my own journey of losing my own child. I was lost. Mary, as you know this story. You know the story. So,
but they don't know this story.
I was lost and trying to find my footing as a new mom, but with no child to hold because my son had just died. And I was writing my own blog at the time, Blue Jeans and Fancy Things, and shared his story. And I was looking all over for who else had experienced anything like I was going through, who from a Catholic lens, because there were all kinds of secular perspectives. And I Googled Catholic mom who lost a child.
Yes, and I won the Google search.
You are the Catholic
Mary won the Google search.
Yes.
But Courtney was still alive. Courtney was still alive at the time.
I was on my way to winning.
You were on your way to winning. Nevertheless, it cracked open a door for me to show that I wasn't alone in having hope, that I wasn't alone in my seemingly kooky perspective of finding joy in the suffering. And it was someone who I knew could genuinely cry with me.
She's
and
really
also like, yeah, and she has yet to cry with me. I'm sure there will come a day, Mary.
Yeah, it'll come.
It'll come. So yeah, it was following you for all those years. God just kept placing you in my life, Mary, as you know. It was, I can't say anything other than it was the Spirit who connected the two of us.
Yeah.
And so continuing to follow you in your journey and getting to share with you, and my heart cracked open again when Courtney died. And because I knew that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Reading Be Brave and the Scared, holy cow, that was painful, but beautifully painful.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was also well, there were lots of favorite parts, but my favorite part would have to be how vulnerable you were about your marriage, because it made me go, okay, I'm not alone.
No one walks alone. Yeah.
And to remind myself that you remind all of us in a very real way how things can be hard. We can do hard things. It's just like what Taylor was saying. You can do hard things, and you can get through it.
You can. Thanks for being here, friend.
I'm so happy to be here.
You're here to celebrate.
I'm so happy to celebrate. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Hey, Miss Olga. She's like, oh, somebody called my name. How are you, friend? You need to unmute. There you go.
I'm muted. Hi, how are you?
Ya?
Good. Not very presentable.
Oh,
but,
listen, you look beautiful. Don't even go there, sister. I got pajama pants on.
You did know about.
Party on the
you
top.
did see my haircut.
Relax.
Right?
I like your haircut. That's a good haircut.
Did a good haircut? I thought so myself. Thank you.
I think
so.
so.
Miss Olga, what was your favorite part of the book?
Well, just the first line, Jerry's first line. Well, that didn't go as planned.
Yes.
So that right there was like, that's me.
Yeah.
That's my life. We're the same age. I'm a little older than you. And so our life, there's a lot of parallels. I have had a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. Mm-hmm. And chapter 10, it says, is there something you're afraid to lose if you place in God's hands? Yeah, 1 or 57, yeah. You know, yeah. So that's something. And just like so many have said, just every day, there's so many days that I'm struggling hard. Mm-hmm. And I open up Instagram and there you are just saying whatever word God put in your heart. And I feel like he's talking to me. I actually sent it to my therapist. I sent it to my therapist the other day. She sent me, did you see Mary Lena Berg's stories today? So I went and I looked at your stories and I wrote back.
Show up in your therapy. That's awesome.
I'm not sure what to think about that.
Hey, listen, that's in a positive way. It wasn't in my therapy. I showed up in her therapy. That's great.
She sent it to me, you know, did you see Mary Lena Berg's stories? No, but I'm going to go look. And then I wrote back, oh my gosh, God is talking to me. So I felt that way in the book too. There's a lot of stuff, you know, we just grew up at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of parallels in our lives. And
well, thank you for being here.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate everything you do every day.
Oh, please.
Thank you.
It's such a joy for me. Oh my gosh. All right, Miss Kathy, I will try and say your last name.
It's okay. You don't have to worry about it.
Is that it?
Yes, very good.
It's that German coming out.
German coming out in me.
Yeah,
I am seriously impressed. I'm also from Buffalo. And I found your book through following you on Instagram. Mm-hmm. For a while. In fact, I'm a little in awe here. Beth Willoughby and Lisa Handley, all these people I follow now, they're like here. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, the thing that I liked most about the book was the raw honesty. Mm. You know, people don't say things authentically anymore because we all have to worry about our images on Instagram or this or that. And your honesty about every aspect of this was inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
And I would be too afraid, I think, to do that. But I have to.
Well, let's be clear. There was a whole lot of fear that went with it. Let's be very, very clear. But I remember talking to my editor before we began the whole writing process, and she was very clear with me. She's like, "Where do you want to go with this?" And I said, "If we don't go the whole way, if we don't really get honest and really get raw and really get real, then we shouldn't do it. We should not write this book."
Well, the other thing that I found really interesting is you as the voice of the book, the author, and Jerry went along with the honesty.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of courage.
It does. When he first read the book, when I finished it and he read it all the way through, he handed it back to me and he said, "Well, thank God Darth Vader is redeemed by chapter 7. Thank you. I appreciate that." And I said, "Do I need to change it?" And he was very kind. He's like, "No, it's your story. It's from your perspective. And that's what we're going to do." So that's what
I look like Dr. Evil.
Oh
$1 million.
That took a lot of courage, though.
It did.
It really did.
Really. When he gets uncomfortable, he'll start making jokes, because then he'll get like emotional, or he'll get like.
No, we don't do big feels.
He doesn't do big feels. Then he'll start joking around. Well, thank you, Kathy, so much for sharing that with us, and thank you so much for being here to celebrate with us. I so appreciate it.
I'm really looking forward to your next book.
Thank you. So am I.
So am I.
Let's go to Annie Joy. I love surprising you guys. You guys are just hanging out, and then I call your name, and it's like,
people just came in here and said, "Mom, I think I want pizza," and I don't know where that. So sorry, yeah. And then I
that's
hear
quite all right. I like pizza too. That sounds like a good choice.
I guess we're gonna talk about this when I get off here, but I'm not gonna sound as eloquent probably as everyone else, but Mary, I messaged you on Instagram. I've been following you probably about a year now, but I had a friend a couple months ago who had a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage back in October. I bought your book. I'm gonna start tearing up here, but it really helped me through that, and it's a wonderful gift for friends who are going through the same thing or just going through any big trials. So just thank you, and thank you for your guys' wisdom just every day on Instagram. You guys are just such a blessing. Jerry, you make us laugh. And Mary, you make us laugh. You guys are such a blessing to us.
Wait a minute. So I do the laughter and you do the wisdom?
Yes. We'll go with that.
I'll tell you, my friend's on here too. She lives, I'm in Denver, but we're just messaging each other, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is just so special to be with so many other faithful women tonight and just listen. So thank you.
Thank you, Annie, for being here. You guys have to understand, I know Lisa will agree with me. To have an opportunity to talk to people that have read your book and how it has changed them and changed their lives. When we, yes, this was our experience and this was our life, and we made all the mistakes and we did all the wrong things, and then we were stupid enough to write about it. But it just really, it's such a blessing to us to be able to hear you and see you, and what stories resonated with you, and what has changed in your life because of the experience of reading the book. And the fact that you didn't feel alone anymore, and that you can do hard things, and that your marriage that's struggling right now, so is everybody else's, and maybe with the same things. And it's such a gift to us as writers to be able to translate what God has asked us to do, and he just multiplies it by all of you. And that grace and that gift comes back to us 20 million fold. So please know that. It's just so much fun to be able to talk to people that have read your words, and it changed them, and it affected them. And that's the whole point of writing a book. Like, you don't want it to just be noise. You want it to have weight and meaning and value in someone's life. So thank you for that.
It makes all those dangling participles worth it, doesn't it?
Not really, but it does make the cupcake worth it. Cheers. All right, Michelle M. from San Antonio. I see you down there. You guys keep moving around on my screen, so it's like I look down, I look over, I don't know where you are. How are you?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I came on a little bit late because we were having our book club.
Oh, awesome. I got to join in last week with Michelle and some women, military spouses and former military, active duty military in San Antonio, Texas, to talk about Be Brave and the Scared. And that was such a gift to me. Yeah. And so what was your favorite part of the book, Michelle?
Well, I have to tell you, I highlight my books and I tab my books and I mark in my books. That's why I like to have the hard copy versus the Kindle version. But I got to tell you, I met Lisa, which you probably don't remember, but we've exchanged. You helped me with my insomnia, Lisa. I met Lisa last February at a military Council of Catholic Women Central Region retreat at Conception Abbey. So we got to be blessed with Lisa being our guest speaker, and she mentioned you, Mary. And
well, thank you.
I ordered your book before. I ordered it on pre-order.
God bless you. Yeah. And you all are going to do that again for the second book.
Exactly.
Pre-order. That's right.
Yes. So I got the book, and I always write in the first page of my book the date that I'm reading the book, so that when I go back, I can what was happening in my life, because I use it as a journal. I use my books as a journal. So when I was reading your story, I was born and raised in San Diego, California, which is why I did not marry a Navy man. Sorry, Jerry. I dated a lot of Navy guys, okay, because San Diego's a big Navy town, but love the Navy.
Right? Did you marry Army man?
No,
right?
Air Force.
No, Air Force. Sorry.
Oh, well, that's okay. You got the better bases, so I got that.
Yeah, but I'm an Air Force vet too myself.
Oh, wonderful.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So I had lost a child being stationed in Japan with, no family, young military couple, and I was 6 months pregnant when I lost my baby, and very, very difficult. And I have a special needs niece who's 44 with the mentality of about a 4-year-old. So my sister has been a single parent with her for her entire life almost. And when I saw your book, and I thought it was Be Brave in the Sacred when I first saw it, and I thought, well, be brave. That just resonated with me. But when I started reading it and reading, Jerry, thank you so much. I don't know if you were when Mary came into our book club meeting.
I had my headphones on. He was on the other side. Yes, yeah. He heard
he was on the other side of the thing, because we were like, for Jerry to, that was our biggest question, is how did you get your husband to say yes? To let
Why did you say yes?
Do this,
to write this book, to do this.
Yes. How did you?
Because they asked you 3 times to write the book. I said, write the stinking book.
I mean, but talking about everything that we talked about, and he's very practical.
Yeah, very practical.
What was your yes? What was behind your yes?
When was it that you said, I'm going to say yes to let her tell about us and about our life?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you have to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
Good. That was one of the questions the ladies asked Mary when she joined us.
Now, granted, it was a little heavy on the Darth Vader side. Okay?
Yeah, but we like that.
On the Darth Vader side early on, but I clean up nicely towards the end.
And I love the haircut too. But I agree with what the other lady was saying. Was Mary going in this time of, I'm single now and I live alone, and my 2 boys live away because, being military family, they don't have a real home. So they're with their wives and their kids. So I'm by myself here in San Antonio with a wonderful group of military Catholic women. But I read your book again because just to not be so scared, and to be braver. So I thank you for writing it, and all of the ladies are so looking forward to your new book and seeing you on Instagram, and we're praying for Eleanor and praying for everything, and you're just such a godsend. So I appreciate it. And Lisa, we love you. We talk about you all the time too, and we're following you. So just to know these ladies, it's just, you guys have been so near and dear to the military community. So thank you. Thank you
so much, Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay, so being respectful of your time, I guess we should talk about the second book, since you guys want to know about the second book. And
okay, let's talk about the second book. Okay.
So the second book is we don't have a permanent title yet, so I can't share a title. The one that it has right now I don't like, so I'm not going to speak it out into the universe because I really don't want that to be the title. So we're just going to put that aside. But it's about identity. So it's about being seen, known, and loved, and thereby knowing who we are in God and who God is in us. And when we do that, then we know where we belong and we know what our mission is as women of God. So that's what the second book is about. I share some really embarrassing stories.
They are epic.
About
epic
how
stories.
Mary tried to wrap herself into a pretzel throughout her life to please other people and to be the person that I thought other people needed me to be. And so because you all have been so grateful, gracious to spend tonight with me, you get to hear one of those stories really quickly. And
ooh, which one?
We're going to go with the sweat socks.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
So, when you guys are in middle school, right? And middle school is just so exciting, and you feel so confident as a young woman, right? Just, right? No. Okay, so I was 5'10" in the 6th grade. I was the 3rd tallest girl in my school. okay, a little Catholic school in Rockville, Maryland. And we had a cheerleading tryout for the very first time, right? We had a little small peewee football team. And so when I was in sixth grade, they were gonna have cheerleaders for the first time. So everybody, that was like the thing you were gonna do, right? Like everybody was trying out for the cheerleading.
Is this the 70s or the 80s?
This is 1979. Thank you so much for clarifying that for me. Anyways, and so I'm 5'10", I'm very awkward, but I was determined that I was going to be a cheerleader. So I watched every college football game I could and watched what the cheerleaders did. I practiced in the backyard. Now I have 6 brothers. They all pretty much thought I was a circus clown for the summer as I'm trying out and doing all these things, and mocked me endlessly for what I was trying to do. And I couldn't tumble very well. I mean, I tumbled a lot, but I couldn't do it on purpose with skill and you know,
that
landing
was a requirement.
It was a requirement. And I like, when I did my jumps, I barely got like 6 inches off the ground, you know, with the split jumps and everything, but I was going to do this, right? So I show up, everybody's in their Care Bear t-shirts with the, you know, the rainbows and the groovy and the Adidas shorts and the cute little kids, and they're all there, right? Mary shows up.
We don't miss the 70s.
No, we don't. And I show up in my brother's hand-me-down basketball shorts and my my Kmart special, you know, tennis shoes that were just, they were lavender and yellow. Why, Lord? Why? Is all I have to say about that. Anyways, and a white t-shirt that had nothing on it. Everybody else was in color. And so I show up and I'm watching everyone, right? Because I'm the tallest, so I'm toward the end of the tryout line. And I noticed that every single girl there is wearing a bra and has a chest. Mary is wearing a training bra that she's had since the 4th grade and has nothing. So in that moment of trying to be that cheerleader, I make a fatal error. I go into the bathroom, pull out a pair of sweat socks that I had in my gym bag, and I stuffed my bra. And instantly I became Dolly Parton Jr. within 5 minutes. So I show up back out there, standing in the line, because I'm going to be that cheerleader, dang it. That's who I am. And you have to have those things in order to be the cheerleader, or so says the line that I'm looking at. And I do my tumble and I cheer. And as I'm doing a backflip, the sweat sock on the right side, because I'll never forget what side it was, started to wiggle its way out the sleeve of my shirt. And by the time I stood up, I was missing a breast. And I looked at the coaches and their eyes were popping out of their socket. And I looked at the other girls, they were all laughing. And I just did my thing and I walked off the field of battle, leaving the sweat sock there. Lopsided, right? And I went home and I cried and I was mortified. Needless to say, the next morning when I showed up for school, the sweat sock was on my desk because, you know, middle school, it's awesome. And I did not make the team. So I remember sharing that story like several months later. I basically became very small in middle school. Like I stopped making jokes. I became very small after that experience. And because I didn't know what to do and how do you survive it, right? And this is a small Catholic school. Like there are 63 people in my graduating class. Like I've known these people since kindergarten and they're all like, Green, did you hear what Green did at cheerleading practice yesterday? It was awful. But anyways, the moral of the story is, I remember one Saturday afternoon, it was in May, so this was in September, so in May, and cheerleading tryouts were coming up again for the next year. And my dad asked me if I was going to try out again, and I just burst into tears. And I'm like, I can't do it. These people hate me. I hate them. I don't have a chest.
Wow, that sounds like middle school, doesn't it?
It's just awful.
I hate them. They hate me.
It was just bad. And I remember, and my dad's like, what is this coming from? And I told him what I did. And my father laughed so hard, he almost fell off the bed. Because, you know, that's what you do. Such an empathetic moment of parenting. And he looked at me and he goes, well, you committed to it. I'm proud of you for that. That was good. And then he basically challenged me and said, no daughter of mine quits I look forward to seeing you cheering on the sidelines this fall. So that's basically when your parents like give you a throwdown. And so you have to show up. So I went still in the same training bra, this time no sweat socks. And I tumbled and I jumped and I did all the things. And because I was so tall and I have freakish upper body strength, I was chosen to be the bottom of the pyramid because I can hold two girls on my shoulder. I still can to this day.
So the stone that was rejected became the cornerstone.
Wow, very well played, Linneberg.
Mm.
Very well played. Anyways, so I share that story in the beginning of the book because in each chapter of this book, we start with an adult story of rejection. And so the beginning of the book for me starts with an experience I had as a young Navy wife where I entered into jealousy and I entered into gossip. And I basically tried to destroy somebody's reputation, which is not the woman I am today. But when you're 22 and really hurt, you do stupid things and you try to hurt other people, hurt people. And I remember specifically this young woman who I've never spoken to after this incident happened that I explained in the book, and how that landed with me and how it stayed with me and the guilt of that stayed with me for so long. And it harkened back to my middle school experience of trying to be someone I was not made to be. When I entered fully into who God made me to be, especially in that season of my life as a youngster, you know, I was successful and he blessed that. And then when, as a woman of God later, when I enter into who he has made me to be, then there are blessings. It doesn't mean it's easy, and it doesn't mean you're not going to have to work for it, but the blessings come because you're being honest with yourself. You're owning who you are. You're owning your past so that you can step into your future. And so that's what this second book is all about. And there are more stories like that.
Oh yeah, they get better. Oh yeah.
Then we get to high school and college.
Yeah.
And there's some real winners in there for you. But each of them correlate to an adult story where I made the wrong decision. And not only did I make the wrong decision, but I like burned the house down kind of thing. Because we all have that, right? We all have that in our lives. Everybody has a past. Everybody has made bad choices. And if you're like me, you've made them again and again and again. And every once in a while, even now, you still step into old habits. And so what I wanted to do was write a book that encouraged you where you were, but also harken back to those places in your past, and especially from your youth and from decisions you may have made that still stand with you today, and help you take all of that and step into the freedom that God has waiting for you. So that is what this next book is. I'm waiting for the first set of edits to come back because the end of the book is a total dumpster fire right now, but we'll fix it. And God's going to bless it, and, you know, hopefully. But I just want to say that it is an honor and a privilege for me to listen to your stories, to journey along with you, that you trust me with so much of your heart. You just have no idea. I know that God has made me as an encourager, as someone to journey, as a woman of deep wisdom from a lot of experience of making the wrong choices and learning the hard way. And so to be able to step into that anointing, to be someone who can stand before you and say, I've done it all wrong. And I know you think you've done it all wrong, and maybe you have, but God has freedom. He has forgiveness. He has mercy. He has redemption for you. And he wants that more than anything because he loves you. He loves you so much that he gave his life for you on the cross. Like, he can't do anything else to love you. Like, that's all. He gave you everything, all of it. And so I think as women especially, we don't receive that. Like, we know it in our heads, but we haven't received it in our hearts. And it's holding us back from stepping into being the people and the women of God that he needs us to be, because church needs to rise up right now, my sisters, and it's going to come through motherhood, and it's going to come through spiritual motherhood and physical motherhood, and this rising up of women who can speak to the pain and the hurt of the past and of the present, and can be part of the healing answer into the future. And that's who all of you are, and that's who I am. And it's just a privilege and an honor to journey with you as we walk that path together. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. I thank you for allowing us to share our lives so openly and honestly with you, and for receiving it with grace and mercy and no judgment. I thank you for your financial support and buying the book again and again and passing it along. I thank you for your social media support. You know, I mean, that's what gets a book sold. They look at all your numbers. So if I have people that are following me, then their publishers are more likely to offer a book contract. So I thank you for that. We have some exciting things coming up. I'm working on a cookbook that I'm self-publishing with stories of my childhood and recipes. I'm working on a devotional, a Marian devotional, 30 Days with Our Lady. So that's going to be awesome. And of course, the second book coming out with Ave Maria Press. Hopefully it'll be out February 2021. I don't know how COVID's going to affect all of that, but hopefully that'll be there. We're going to be doing a lot more video. We are now building a Patreon page. You guys have asked for that. And so that is going to be there for you, hopefully in the next few weeks. You just have to know how you've changed my life and our life, and how you've given purpose and meaning to our future. Thank you. And how God does not waste one thing, y'all. God does not waste one thing. He doesn't waste any of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. He doesn't. He uses it all to work for the good and glory of him and for our good. And I just never want you to lose hope and to lose faith in that. And so know that you can email me, you can text me, you can direct message me. If you need some complexion help, we'll hit you up on the whole beauty counter. We're going to do the whole thing here, people. It's an inside out job, right? Little Jesus on the inside, a little, concealer on the out. That's good.
How about some eyebrows? Can we get some eyebrows on the outside, please? Like right here, this little spot right here.
Wow. He's never going to forgive me for taking off his eyebrow.
I am never going to forgive you for divoting my eyebrow. No. That's one thing you never hear about from your barber. Oops. That was bad.
That is what I said.
Your barber and your surgeon. You never want to hear those words.
But you forgive me for other things, but you won't forgive me for the divot in your forehead.
Because you were not
supposed. It grows back. You're a man. There's hair everywhere. Get over it. Anyways. There's a lot more coming, you all, and it's because you're here and you've loved us so well and you encouraged us so well that we are able to just give back. So we thank you so much.
I'm not sure it's going to grow back because I think it was traumatized.
You're going to be traumatized in about 30 seconds. Anyways, thank you guys for celebrating Be Brave and the Scared with us. We look forward to celebrating whatever the new book is going to be called. And I promise to let you know as soon as I know. So thank you all so much from the bottom of our hearts. God bless you guys. Have a great night. Look at all the clapping. I love it. It's great. Take care, everybody.